Have you ever felt like you're running endlessly toward success, but the more you run, the more exhausted you become? You long to go far, but deep down, all you really want is peace? If you're feeling stuck between ambition and inner calm, then this video is made for you. In today's world, success is often defined by speed, achievements, and recognition, but that very mindset is causing many people to lose their inner peace. Do we really have to sacrifice serenity in order to succeed? Or is there a third path? Stoicism isn't just a way to stay mentally grounded during life storms. It's a foundation for building sustainable success without losing yourself in the process. In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism and a success-driven mindset can come together to help you, reach new heights. While living with stillness, freedom, and deep inner control. Part 1. Understanding ambition, a flame or a double-edged sword. There's a quiet flame burning inside each of us. A flame that drives us to go further, reach higher, and become better every single day. That flame is called ambition. But that same flame, if left unchecked, can also consume the one who carries it. So what is ambition, really? And how do we know when ambition is fueling us versus when it's dragging us into the depths of exhaustion, envy, and confusion? Ambition, a necessary drive for growth. There's nothing wrong with wanting to succeed. There's nothing wrong with desiring a better life, a higher position, or a more fulfilling career. Ambition, when it comes from within, is a force that helps you break through obstacles, overcome inertia, and step outside your comfort zone. A runner who wants to beat their personal record. A musician who wants to compose a song that touches millions of hearts. A child who wants to give their parents a better life. All of these are examples of positive ambition. Ambition led by purpose and aligned with personal values. But when ambition no longer serves you and instead starts controlling you, that's when it stops being a guiding torch and becomes a double-edged sword. Many people embark on their pursuit of success by asking the wrong questions. How can I get others to recognize me? How do I beat this person, outdo that one? And when ambition is driven by comparison, pressure to achieve, or fear of falling behind, the following signs begin to appear. Working 16 hours a day, but no longer knowing why. Constantly feeling not good enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough. Losing close relationships due to being too busy. Being unable to sleep peacefully or enjoy the present moment. A story, success and emptiness. Let's take the story of Hung, a tech startup founder. At just 30 years old, he had everything others dreamed of. A luxury car, a glass-walled office overlooking the city skyline, admiration from his employees, media calling him a leader of a new generation. But one day, after a major press interview, he sat alone in that sleek office, staring out at the city lights. And suddenly, he was hit with a crushing sense of emptiness. There was no one to call, no reason to smile, no real purpose to keep doing everything he was doing. Ambition had taken him to the top, but it also isolated him from himself. Stoicism, don't abandon ambition, refine it. Stoicism doesn't ask you to throw away your goals and live a passive life. On the contrary, it helps you define what truly matters and teaches you to master your response to unnecessary desires. One of Marcus Aurelius' most famous lines, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, is, "True success is victory over oneself. It is remaining calm amidst everything beyond your control." Stoics don't reject ambition. They examine it. They ask, is this goal truly mine, or something I've been conditioned to want? If no one knew I achieved this, would I still want it? Is the price I'm paying worth losing a part of myself? Befriending ambition, the mindset of truly successful people. Here's a surprising truth. The most deeply successful, sustainably happy people are often highly ambitious, but they never let ambition control them. Their mindset looks like this. I want to grow, but not at the cost of my values. I set goals, but my self-worth isn't tied to results. I give my best, and I can still smile when things don't go as planned. This isn't the thinking of someone who's given up. It's the mindset of someone who understands the deeper nature of life. Practical reflection. Reevaluate your own ambition. Try spending 10 minutes each week answering these questions. What has been driving me lately? Is it truly coming from within? Am I sacrificing anything important to reach the success? If no one ever acknowledged my achievement, would it still feel meaningful? You might be surprised to discover that many of the things you're chasing aren't really what you want at all. And once you filter out the noise and uncover your authentic ambition, you'll find that you still want success, but you're no longer obsessed by it. Ambition isn't the enemy, but if you don't understand it, it will control you like a puppet. Stoicism doesn't ask you to stop dreaming. It teaches you to master flame, so you can not only go further, but walk the path with strength, clarity, and meaning. Part 2. Stoicism, not emotional numbness, but inner strength. When people hear the word stoicism, they often imagine someone cold and detached from life, someone emotionless, indifferent, and devoid of dreams or desires. They might think, people who follow stoicism must be heartless. How can anyone live without caring about emotions? That's a serious misunderstanding, because stoicism doesn't teach you to kill your emotions. It teaches you to master them, not denial, not avoidance, not suppression, but rather to face emotions head-on, understand them, and then choose how to respond with clarity and inner freedom. Emotions are not the enemy, unless they control you. We are emotional beings. We can't live without emotions, from joy, pride, and excitement, to anger, jealousy, sadness, and disappointment. The problem isn't emotions themselves. It's that most of us let emotions drive our actions. Someone gets angry and destroys an important relationship. Someone feels hurt and gives up just before the finish line. Someone fears failure, so they never even start. Stoicism offers a psychological map, so you can live with your emotions, but not be devoured by them. Stoics are not emotionless. They feel, understand, and rise above. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It's not what happens to you that makes you suffer, but how you think about it." A Stoic can still feel sadness after betrayal, still feel pain when losing a loved one, still feel disappointment after failure. But here's the difference. They don't let those emotions define them. They don't let those emotions make decisions for them. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I respond in a way that honors who I want to become?" A story, a leader's calm in the midst of crisis. A fast-growing startup suddenly faces a media crisis. Rumors spread. The press attacks. Employees panic. The CEO becomes the eye of the storm. In that moment, he could have lashed out in anger, blamed his team, acted impulsively, or disappeared from the spotlight. But instead, he did something no one expected. He stayed silent for a full day. He wrote down every emotional reaction he had in a notebook. Then, the next day, he gathered the entire company and calmly presented a solution. He later shared that he learned how to pause from Stoic philosophy to avoid rash decisions in emotional storms. The result? The company survived the crisis. Internal trust grew stronger. And later, the media praises calm and rational leadership. Emotional mastery is a skill, not a personality trait. Stoics aren't born calm. They train for it. Day by day, minute by minute, through concrete practices, journaling, writing down events of the day, how you felt, how you reacted, then asking, was there a better way I could have responded? Premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. Visualizing what might go wrong, so you're mentally prepared. For example, if someone insults me today, I won't let it control my emotions. Negative visualization. Imagining losing something you currently have. To cultivate appreciation and reduce fear of loss. These techniques gradually build your mental muscle, making you more centered, grounded, and resilient in every situation. Calmness isn't indifference, it's a superpower. Imagine this. Others are angry, but you remain calm. Others compete and compare, but you stay focused on your own path. The world is in chaos, but you can still think clearly and choose wisely. That is the power of Stoicism, not avoiding life, but living within life without being swept away by it. You become your own anchor, and sometimes even the anchor for those around you. Practice tip: 1 minute of Stoicism every morning. Right after waking up, give yourself just 1 minute. No phone, no distractions. Ask yourself these 3 questions. What can I control today? My attitude, effort, and reactions. What is outside my control that I should let go of? If a challenge arises today, how do I want to respond? To honor the person I aim to become? Just 1 mindful minute, but it will set the emotional rails for your entire day. Stoicism isn't about becoming numb. It's about becoming the strongest version of yourself on the inside, no matter how much the outside world changes. True maturity doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you can feel fully and still have the strength to choose how you'll live in line with your values. Part 3. Sustainable Success Mindset. Set goals not to show off, but to grow. We live in an age where success is measured in views, numbers, and the admiration in other people's eyes. Many people set goals not because they truly need them, but because they want to prove something to the world. They want to show, I'm talented too. I'm not inferior to anyone. I deserve recognition. The problem is, goals driven by this kind of motivation may sound strong, but in reality, they're incredibly fragile. Because if recognition disappears, you'll suddenly feel empty. If the results don't come fast enough, you'll begin to doubt your worth. And if no one applauds your effort, you'll start to wonder, what's the point of all this? Set goals to grow, not to compete. One of the most important questions anyone pursuing success should ask themselves is, why am I really doing this? If your answer is, so others will notice me, you're handing over your fate to public opinion. But if your answer is, so I can outgrow who I was yesterday, then you're building a journey that's truly sustainable. Stoicism teaches, your value doesn't come from external validation, but from how closely you live in alignment with your inner principles. People who succeed in a meaningful, lasting way don't set goals to show off. They set goals to become better versions of themselves every single day. A story: 2 entrepreneurs, 2 mindsets. Imagine 2 close friends who start their own companies. The first one, Nam, posts everything online. Meetings with client A, just closed a deal with partner B. Working from a fancy coffee shop. His goals are ambitious, but deep down, he's chasing them to keep up with others his age. Every time someone else gets media attention, he feels the need to hustle even harder. The second one, Due, works just as hard, but rarely shares anything publicly. Each night, he journals quietly, asking, what didn't I do well today? What did I learn from today's failure? If I could redo it, what would I change? After 3 years, Nam's company collapses due to financial burnout, and he is emotionally drained. Meanwhile, Due, though not publicly recognized, builds a solid foundation, financial stability, a loyal team, and most importantly, a truly mature mindset. External versus internal goals. Criteria: external goal, internal goal. Example: I want 100K followers. I want to share meaningful content every day. Motivation: recognition. Fame: growth, contribution. Emotional impact: anxiety, pressure. Dependence: confidence, autonomy, stability. Fragility: easily shaken by comparison, or short-term failure resilient. Nurtured by inner strength. The same goal can look identical on the outside, but be entirely different in depth, depending on the reason behind it. Stoic mindset. Success isn't a destination. It's a way of living. One of Seneca's famous quotes is, we don't fail because we miss the goal. We fail because we choose the wrong reason to chase it. A Stoic is not obsessed with results because they understand outcomes are often influenced by external factors, but effort, character, and attitude, those are within our control. When you set goals to train yourself, rather than to be praised, you won't fall apart when things don't go your way. You'll remain grounded. You'll keep going. You'll keep growing. Practice tip: reset your goals the Stoic way. Next time you set a goal, write down 2 things. The result you want to achieve, goal. E.g., I want to reach 10,000 subscribers on my channel. The virtue you want to strengthen, value. E.g., I want to cultivate perseverance, consistency, and the ability to inspire. Then, whenever you feel disappointed by a lack of results, return to point number 2 and ask yourself, did I live in alignment with the virtue I'm training today? If the answer is yes, then you're moving closer to real success, regardless of what the numbers say. What is success if you aren't in it? Success shouldn't mean becoming who society wants. It should mean becoming who you want and need to be. And often, the deepest success isn't found in the public spotlight. It's found in the reason you began, the way you walked the path, and the integrity you held on to, even when no one was watching. When you set goals to show off, you live through the lens of others. When you set goals to grow, you live from the heart and your true ideals. Stoicism and a sustainable success mindset won't just take you to your destination. They'll help you walk every step with strength, intention, and inner peace. Part 4. Self-Mastery. How Stoicism builds inner strength in the modern world. In today's noisy and chaotic world, self-mastery is not just a life skill. It's a superpower. Because most people are living in auto-reaction mode. Meaning, someone says something harsh, they react immediately. A new social media trend appears, they follow it without knowing why. Something goes wrong, they complain, get angry, or give up. We think we are in control. But in reality, we're constantly being triggered by the outside world. That's why we're easily lost, easily exhausted, and slowly lose ourselves. Self-mastery, a core principle in Stoicism. Since ancient Greece, Stoic philosophers have viewed self-control as one of the highest virtues. They believed you can't control the world, but you can always control yourself. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled an entire empire, wrote in Meditations, "True victory is the victory over yourself, your emotions, desires, laziness, and the habit of running from discomfort." Stoicism doesn't ask you to abandon modern life. It teaches you how to live in it without being ruled by it. A story, an ordinary employee in the journey of self-mastery. Lon, a 9-to-5 office worker, constantly felt pressure from repetitive tasks, a demanding boss, and uncooperative colleagues. Each day at work brought waves of negative emotion, frustration, anger, fatigue. She started snapping at her boyfriend, distancing herself from friends, and gradually felt that life had lost meaning. One day, she stumbled upon a book on Stoicism. A single quote struck her deeply. "We are not hurt by events, but by the way we think about them." She started experimenting, writing down how she reacted every time her boss scolded her, asking herself, "Is there anything I can truly control here?" Every morning, she spent 3 minutes choosing one thing to take control that day: her attitude, her tone of voice, or completing tasks early. 3 months later, not only was Lon no longer stressed, but she had become someone her boss trusted with greater responsibilities. She didn't change her environment. She changed her inner strength in facing that environment. And that changed everything. The 3 pillars of inner strength in Stoicism. 1. Clarity of perception. Stoics train themselves to avoid immediate judgments. Separate what happened from how I feel about what happened. Instead of thinking, "I was insulted," they think, "Someone said something. I felt insulted. I have the power to choose another response." 2. Discipline of action. Stoics don't let emotions dictate behavior. They create a mental pause between stimulus and reaction so they can choose the best response, not a knee-jerk one. Examples. When criticized, instead of arguing, they ask, "Is there any truth in this?" When they fail, instead of sulking, they ask, "What did I learn?" 3. Alignment with virtue. Stoics believe, if you live true to your values, you've already succeeded, regardless of external results. Training resilience. Everyday Stoic practices. 1. Reaction journaling. At the end of the day, write down 3 situations where you felt angry, anxious, or upset. Then reflect. How did I react? Was there a better way to respond? How do I want to act differently next time? 2. Premeditatio malorum. Anticipating what might go wrong. Before an important day, mentally prepare. Someone might upset you. Things might not go as planned. Someone might say something offensive, and prepare yourself to remain grounded, not reactive. 3. Limit emotional input. You can't stay peaceful if every morning starts with online drama, toxic comparisons, and judgmental content. Clean up your emotional environment by unfollowing accounts that drain your energy, turning off non-essential notifications, spending 10 quiet minutes each morning instead of jumping into the news cycle. You can't control the world, but you can always control yourself. The modern world will always be noisy. There will always be deadlines, pressure, negative news, and unkind words. But you can always choose a different way of thinking, a different way of responding, a different path to building your strength through small, daily habits. Self-mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, forged from your smallest choices. How will you respond today? Will you let go, or will you keep going? Stoicism doesn't give you a suit of armor. It helps you forge a heart of steel beneath a calm exterior. Part 5. Intrinsic motivation. When you no longer need recognition to keep going. In today's world, many people are living on external fuel. That means they only work when someone praises them. They only try when they're recognized. They only feel worthy when they receive likes, follows, or applause. And then, when the praise fades, when the results fall short, when no one notices their efforts, they fall like a tree without roots. They lose direction. They lose motivation. They lose themselves. Intrinsic motivation, fuel that comes from within. Stoicism teaches a powerful principle. True motivation must come from within, from the reason you live, the values you believe in, and the character you're trying to build. Stoics don't need recognition to keep going. They keep going because it's the right thing to do. They move forward because growth is not optional for them. A story, the writer with no readers, and a miracle after 365 days. Ha is a young woman who loves to write. She started a personal blog, posting one article each day about life philosophy, stoicism, and her reflections on simple things. For the first 3 months, no one read it. No likes, no comments. People said, "Why write if no one's reading? You're wasting time if there's no engagement." But she kept writing because she had written in her journal, "I don't write to be recognized. I write to listen to myself. And if I don't do this, I'll be losing a part of who I am." Exactly 1 year later, one of her posts went viral. She was invited to co-author a book. But more importantly, even when no one read, she was already a writer. Even without applause, she was living as the person she wanted to be. What do you truly want? Approval or inner freedom? We've all been affected by how others see us. But ask yourself, if no one claps for you, will you still keep going? If you succeed in silence, without praise, will you still feel fulfilled? A person with intrinsic motivation would answer, yes, because I don't live to please anyone. I live to complete my own journey. Stoicism calls this living according to nature, living in alignment with the person you were born to become. And intrinsic motivation is the light that guides your path, even when no one else carries a lantern. The 3 pillars of intrinsic motivation. 1, a deeply personal why, not to surpass others, but I do this because it helps me grow. I pursue this because it makes me feel truly alive. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Friedrich Nietzsche. 2, clear core values. You must know what you're living for: honesty, learning, contribution, freedom. When you act in alignment with your values, even if no one sees it, you feel fulfilled. 3, self-discipline as an act of self-love. You wake up early not because you have to, but because you want to become someone disciplined. You exercise not out of fear, but because you want to honor your commitment to yourself. A simple practice. 3 questions to spark inner motivation. Whenever you feel like quitting, write down, why did I start this in the first place? If no one praises me, do I still want to do it? Which version of myself is being built through this journey? You'll realize that inner motivation isn't a sudden spark. It's a quiet, steady current that no external force can extinguish. When you no longer crave recognition, you are truly free. You work because you love the process, not out of fear of being left behind. You create value, not to beg for validation. You walk with confidence, not needing the spotlight to feel worthy. That is freedom, and that is the deepest foundation of a success mindset that cannot be shaken. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You only need to answer to one person, yourself. When you live with intrinsic motivation, you will never run out of energy. Because you don't need to be cheered on. You are the light that guides your own path. Part 6. Slow down to go far. A countercultural mindset in an age of acceleration. We live in a world obsessed with speed. Everything must be fast. Fast success. Fast answers. Fast gratification. Fast growth. We chase quick wins, instant results, and overnight success stories. But in doing so, we forget one thing: growth takes time. And the most meaningful journeys are often the ones we walk slowly, intentionally, and with deep awareness. In a rushed world, stillness is a superpower. The modern world keeps pushing us to move faster. You're falling behind. If you don't act now, someone else will. More. Faster. Now. But Stoicism offers a completely opposite path. Don't be swept away by urgency. Move with purpose, not panic. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Or rather, do what's essential, and do it well." To a Stoic, doing less doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what truly matters, and letting go of the noise. A story. The musician who chose depth over hype. Tuan was a talented guitarist. His friends pressured him to ride social media trends, make fast reels, do viral covers. You'll grow faster. But he chose a different path. He spent 1 year crafting a single original album, slow, silent, unseen. People thought he disappeared. But when the album was released, it resonated deeply. Not because it was trendy, but because it was real, thoughtful, and full of soul. He didn't explode overnight, but the impact lasted. That's the power of slow creation in a fast world. Speed often comes with a cost. We multitask so much that we forget what deep focus feels like. We move so fast that we forget where we're going. We build success so quickly that we don't build the emotional strength to hold it. Imagine a tree that grows too fast, with shallow roots. The first storm will knock it down. Stoicism reminds us, don't just grow upward, grow inward. Slowness is a strategy. Going slow doesn't mean you lack ambition. It means you're investing in depth instead of surface, mastery instead of quick wins, longevity instead of short-term hype. People who go slow tend to learn more deeply, understand themselves better, build stronger relationships, make wiser decisions. Stoic practices to slow down intentionally. Morning stillness. Spend 5 minutes each morning in silence. No phone, no scrolling. Just breathe, reflect, and set your intention for the day. Single tasking. Focus on one task at a time. Say no to multitasking. Say yes to deep work. Ask, is this urgent or just noisy? Before reacting, pause and ask, am I doing this because it truly matters or just because the world is shouting at me? Weekly reflection. At the end of the week, write, what did I rush through that I regret? What did I slow down and truly enjoy? What matters most next week? When you slow down, you speed up the right things. You don't rush relationships. You deepen them. You don't chase trends. You build timeless value. You don't live for the next rush. You live fully in the present moment. In a world that races, those who master stillness stand out. Not because they're louder, but because they're anchored. To go fast is to follow the crowd. To go slow with clarity and calm is to lead yourself. And that's what Stoicism is about. Part 7. Letting go at the right time. Not failure, but wisdom. We're often taught to never give up, to keep pushing, to hustle harder. But sometimes true strength lies in letting go. Not because we're weak, but because we're wise. Letting go isn't quitting. It's choosing not to hold on to what no longer serves us. It's choosing clarity over pride, peace over stubbornness, growth over ego. Not everything you start needs to be finished. a job that drains you every day, a relationship where your soul is shrinking, a project you no longer believe in, a race you never really wanted to run. We often cling to these things because we've invested too much. We fear judgment. We don't want to feel like a failure. But Stoicism reminds us, you can't control the past. You only control what you choose from here. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." And we can add, if it no longer aligns, do not carry it. A Story, the startup founder who walked away. Lean, a young founder, had built a small tech company from scratch. Everyone admired her hustle. The press praised her as a rising star. But deep down, she was exhausted. She had grown, but the business hadn't. She realized she had outgrown the dream. For months, she clung to it, afraid of letting others down. Then one day, after reading a line from Epictetus, freedom is the only worthy goal in life, she made a bold decision. She shut the company down, not out of defeat, but from clarity. She then went on to work in a cause-driven nonprofit that matched her values. And she said, "The moment I let go, I could breathe again." Letting go is not failure, it's realignment. To the world, it may look like a job change, a breakup, a pivot, falling behind. But to your soul, it feels like lightness, honesty, rebirth. People who grow the most are not those who cling the tightest, but those who release the smartest. Ask yourself, what are you still holding on to? Try journaling this. What am I still forcing, even though I feel it's no longer right? If I wasn't afraid of judgment, what would I walk away from today? What might become possible if I let go? You'll often find the fear of letting go is heavier than the act itself. The Stoic view, release the unnecessary, embrace the essential. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who is too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." This applies to ambition, possessions, relationships, even identities. Letting go of what's unaligned creates space for what's authentic. A Stoic knows you can't grasp what's next if your hands are full of what expired. Practice the one bag exercise. Imagine you can carry only one bag into your future. What goes in it? What beliefs? What habits? What goals? What people? Now ask, what must be left behind? Write it down. Burn the page if needed. Release with intention. Letting go is not weakness. It's maturity. It's the courage to say, I no longer need this to prove my worth. When you let go of the wrong thing, you make room for the right path. And in that moment, you're not failing. You are evolving. Part 8. Inner Peace. The true foundation of sustainable success. What if the real measure of success is not how loud your applause is, but how quiet your mind becomes when you close your eyes? In a world obsessed with doing more, achieving more, and proving more, we often forget that peace of mind is not a luxury. It's a necessity. You can have the world at your feet, but if your mind is in chaos, you've won nothing. The hidden crisis behind modern success, many high achievers secretly suffer from: constant anxiety, sleepless nights, emotional burnout, a sense of emptiness despite external achievements. They climb the ladder of success, only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall, because they forgot to build peace along the way. Stoicism, a philosophy of calm power. Stoicism doesn't make you passive. It makes you powerfully calm. It teaches that you can't control events, but you can control your responses. You can't choose outcomes, but you can choose your attitude. You can't stop storms, but you can anchor your soul. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, led wars and ruled an empire, but his greatest achievement was mastering his own mind. A Story, the executive who chose peace. Tan, a successful executive, had the dream life on paper: a 6-figure income, luxury vacations, a home that looked like a magazine spread. But every night, she felt restless. Her thoughts ran wild. She chased deadlines, approval, status, but couldn't find stillness. One day, after reading a quote from Seneca, "No man is free who is not master of himself," She started small. Morning walks with no phone. 10 minutes of journaling before work. Learning to say no without guilt. Over time, the chaos in her mind softened. She didn't quit her job. She just changed her rhythm. She said, I stopped rushing toward success and started walking with peace. Why inner peace is not optional. Peace isn't just for monks or minimalists. You need it if you want to make clear decisions under pressure, build lasting relationships, handle success without breaking, live a life of meaning, not just motion. Without inner peace, your ambition becomes self-destruction. Your relationships become transaction. Your success becomes noise. Building peace daily, the Stoic way. 1. Guard your attention like a fortress. Avoid mental junk food, doom scrolling, gossip, meaningless distractions. Curate your input, books, mentors, silence. 2. Practice stillness and motion. Even in busy moments, pause for 10 seconds to breathe. Ask, is this reaction necessary or just a habit? 3. Create a return point every day. This can be a walk in nature, meditation, reading a page from Meditations, or letters from a Stoic. These practices pull you back to your center, so life doesn't pull you apart. Real success feels like peace. Imagine waking up and not feeling rushed, speaking without the need to prove, working with presence, not pressure, loving without fear of loss, succeeding without screaming for approval. That is the success Stoicism aims for. A success that feels like coming home, not running away. Practice the peace audit. At the end of the day, ask, what brought me peace today? What stole my peace? What will I do differently tomorrow? Your answers are your compass. Follow peace, not noise. You don't have to give up ambition to have peace. You just have to make peace part of your ambition. Because in the end, success without peace is just a louder form of suffering. But success built on inner stillness? That's not just impressive, it's invincible. Part 9. Success is not a destination. It's how you live each day. Ask yourself this. If tomorrow you didn't achieve what you're chasing, if your career didn't turn out as planned, if all your accomplishments disappeared, would you still be a successful person? Society has taught us that success is a destination, a title, a number, the recognition of others. But Stoicism and sustainable success thinking offer a different truth. True success doesn't lie in where you end up. It lies in how you walk every step of the way. The I'll be happy when illusion. One of the most common delusions about success is, I'll be happy when I land my dream job, I buy that house, I finally get recognized. But the truth is, once you achieve it, your mind simply raises the bar again and continues the chase. It becomes an endless cycle. Those who pursue sustainable success learn to reverse the equation. I am happy because I live with purpose. And that is success. A story, the unknown artist who was already successful. Min was a painter. For over 10 years, he never had an art show at a prestigious gallery. No viral fame. No massive following. But every morning, he would wake up at 5 a.m., make coffee, and sit quietly at his canvas. He painted, not to be famous. He painted because it kept his soul alive. One day, a student asked him, don't you feel like it's a waste? You paint so beautifully, but few people even know. Min smiled and said, I've already succeeded. Every day I get to live true to myself. Stoicism. Success is about living right, not living loud. Stoic philosophy doesn't reject success, but it urges us to reframe the question, what does enough really mean? Who am I becoming each day? Are the values I'm chasing worth the time of my life? In Letters to Lucilius, Seneca wrote, the wise man does not need to reach the heights of fame, only to avoid falling away from his own goodness. The mindset shift. Make each day a manifestation of success. Now imagine redefining success like this. Did I live fully today? Did I treat others with respect and compassion? Did I keep my word to myself, even if no one noticed? Did I strengthen my character? If the answer is yes, then you've had a successful day, regardless of applause or recognition. Practice the end-of-day success test. Each night, instead of asking, "What did I achieve today?" ask, "What core value did I stay true to today? When did I choose calm over reaction? Am I becoming a better version of myself?" This isn't a scorecard. It's a maturity check. And that's a kind of success no one can ever take from you. The deepest freedom is when you no longer have to prove anything. Think about this. Most of the pressure we feel around success stems from a need to prove something. Prove we're not falling behind. Prove we're worthy. Prove we matter. But those who live with inner strength, those grounded in Stoic thought, are no longer driven by that. They act because they choose to. They live because they love the process. They succeed because in every moment they stay true to themselves. You don't need to reach the summit to stand strong. True success isn't the feeling of, "I finally made it." It's the feeling of, "I'm on the right path. I can smile even when I'm not at the top. I don't need to beat anyone. I just need to not betray myself." That's the success of someone with depth. It's quiet but unshakable. It's the kind of success Stoicism and intentional living lead you toward. From the inside out. Part 10. When inner peace becomes a foundation, not the final reward. Many people view peace as something to be earned after they've made it. I'll rest when I'm successful. I'll feel calm once I've achieved everything. I'll be happy when things finally settle down. But if you live like that, peace will always stay in the future, and the future is always moving. Stoicism offers a radical idea. Peace is not the end goal. It's the beginning. It's not what you get after reaching success. It's what allows you to pursue success with clarity, stability, and strength. Peace first, then progress. Imagine building a house during a storm. That's what it feels like to chase success without inner peace. You may build high, but everything is shaky. You may go fast, but you're constantly exhausted. Now imagine laying a solid foundation first. A steady mind, calm emotions, clear values. That's when you can build something that lasts. Peace is not passive. It's the inner silence that helps you hear what truly matters. A story, the calm within the chaos. Thursday was a young entrepreneur managing a fast-growing business. Every day was a whirlwind of deadlines, investor meetings, and urgent problems. But she had one ritual. Every morning, before touching her phone, she would sit for 10 minutes in silence. She would breathe deeply and ask herself, "What's the most important thing I must hold on to today, no matter what happens?" Sometimes it was kindness. Sometimes it was patience. Sometimes it was courage. Her team noticed something. Even during the most intense crises, Thursday never lost her calm. And because of that, her company didn't just grow, it thrived. The Stoic path, stillness as strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That's not escapism. That's power. The Stoics believe that peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of perspective. It's what allows you to say no to things that distract you, pause before reacting, choose meaning over noise, stay rooted while the world rushes. The trap of resting later. So many burn out because they postpone rest, healing, and inner clarity. They tell themselves, just one more project, just a little more money, just a bit more recognition. But the truth is, what you don't repair now will cost you later. Stoicism teaches us that peace is not a luxury. It's an essential tool for clarity, resilience, and real success. Practice. Design your peace ritual. Choose one simple action each day that creates a pocket of peace. For example, a 5-minute silent walk after lunch, journaling before bed. What weighed me down today and what can I let go of? Deep breathing for 1 minute before opening your inbox. Asking yourself each morning, what's one thing I will protect my peace from today? Small rituals, done daily, create a life that is no longer ruled by chaos. Peace is the power to choose who you want to be, no matter what happens. When you build peace from within, you gain the space to choose your response. Instead of reacting by habit, you become less shaken by criticism, less addicted to validation, less fearful of uncertainty, and more present, grounded, aligned with your purpose. This is not weakness. This is what real strength looks like. quiet, but unbreakable. Final thought, don't chase peace. Cultivate it. If you keep placing peace at the finish line, you'll never reach it. But if you plant peace at the starting line, in how you begin each day, in the way you treat yourself, in the values you live by, then success will no longer feel like a war zone. You'll grow, not because you're escaping fear, but because you're walking in alignment. You'll rise, not with anxiety, but with certainty. You won't have to sacrifice yourself for success, because you've already built a self worth succeeding with. That is the Stoic way. That is sustainable success. And that is the freedom you deserve to live. Peace is not the opposite of ambition. It's the foundation of lasting success. You've just completed a long journey, not just through philosophy, but through a deep dialogue with your own self. Together, we've reflected on why so many successful people still feel empty inside, why living by other standards only pulls us further away from our inner truth, why letting go is not failure, but a survival strategy. We've walked from understanding what we truly want to building an unshakable mental space, from living slow and deep to finding our inner compass. And in the end, you realize balance doesn't come from eliminating ambition. It comes from anchoring your ambition in peace. You can go far without losing yourself. You can stand in the middle of a noisy, chaotic world and still hold your inner stillness. You can chase great heights without sacrificing your health, your dignity, or your freedom, because now you've learned how to filter, to adjust, to stay centered, and to keep moving forward. A life lesson to keep. You don't need to live the way others expect. You only need to live true to the most awakened, most authentic version of yourself. And if you live just 1% truer each day, 1 year from now, you won't recognize the old you. You'll be stronger, calmer, and more grounded than ever before. Direct hit if this video resonated with you. If you saw a part of yourself in the journey we shared. If you're seeking balance in a chaotic world. If you're craving a path of growth that is both powerful and soulful, backhand index pointing right hit like to help spread these values to more people. Backhand index pointing right subscribe to this channel so we can keep walking together on this lifelong journey of growth, awareness, and sustainable success, because the road ahead is long, and I believe we deserve to go far, but with peace in our hearts. See you in the next video. And remember, true success is when you no longer have to trade yourself away to achieve it.